Hello, everyone. Jesse Jackson here. It is 12:15 in the morning on February 11th. It is just got home from the American Airlines Center where we saw Bruce and a shortened E Street Band. In football terms, they had a couple of key injuries. It was I had seen a few things on social media, and then three or four songs into it, Bruce mentioned that they were playing shorthanded. Little Steven, COVID. Susie Tyrell, COVID. He didn't say Patty had COVID, but he said Patty's out. So Jake was, instead of with the horns, he was up front where normally Susie stands, and like where he would be normally if it was without the E Street Orchestra. And Niels did a lot of the work that little Steven would have done as far as singing background, sharing a mic with Bruce. I know that Gary also had his chance to see things, so it was pretty interesting. Um, Linda, Chris, and I went. It was Chris's 34th birthday. I've made the joke that he didn't have a chance on where he wanted to spend his birthday, but he wanted to go. We ended up not making the Spring Nuts get together. I'm so sorry about that, but for his birthday, I wanted to make it at least a little special, so we went to one of his favorite restaurants and let him have a lunch, a dinner, and then by the time we got to the stadium, it was just too late. So we did get to see the Dirk Arena, the Dirk Nowitzki statue at the arena. We were in section 318. There were only two rows behind us, so we were at the very top of the row, uh, but had two spring nuts actually next to me that had traveled from Jersey to they made this their vacation, so they did a lot of West Texas and saw a lot of stuff, and then there for the show. Um, got in. It looked sold out to me. I know that there were resale tickets available, but there when I looked at um, the uh, the auditorium, it I did not see a lot of empty seats, um, and it was our section was incredibly crowded. Not a lot of change in the set list, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. They kicked off with No Surrender, Ghost. Bruce's voice sounded a little nasally. They had some trouble with the sound at the beginning of it, but they overall sounded good. You did notice right away no Little Steven, no Susie, no Patty, so it kind of looked thin up front. Bruce was doing a lot of the heavy lifting on guitar, doing a lot of lead, and Niels was doing a lot of lead as well. They were back and forth. Niels did some slide guitars, which was pretty cool in a couple of songs. Uh, no Surrender, Ghost, Prove It All Night, Letter to You, Promised Land, Out in the Street. Really, six great songs to start. The band sounded good. They were really, really cooking. Then we got to Kitty's back, Candy's Room and Kitty back, and I'm I love whatever Bruce plays, but I am more of a fan of modern era Bruce than I am classic Bruce. I think that has to do with me first becoming a passionate, obsessed fan after the Rising tour. So I have a special place in my heart for all the albums after the Rising compared to the stuff that came out from, before the River. But so I really was like, I don't. I know that a lot of fans will be happy with Candy's Room and they'll be happy with Kitty's back, and I'm happy whatever the guy plays. I owe Kitty's Back, such an apology. I am begging Kitty's Back to forgive me. It absolutely rocked. It it was this it gave every member of the band and horn a chance to do solos. It truly, and my wife Linda and my son Chris said the same thing. They felt like they were in a jazz club, having them break it down with all the different solos. It was one of the highlights of the show for me. And shout out to my buddy UK Mark Dempsey, because he had seen the Orlando show and he had said, "You're really going to love Kitty's Back." And I just do. I have to give my glasses are crooked. I have to give Kitty's Back the biggest apology. I am so sorry, and I am looking forward to hearing it next time. Then we got the two Only the Strong covers, Night Shift, Don't Play That Song. Both of them were great. Night Shift is not one of my favorite songs on that album, but it's one of my wife's favorites, and so she loved it. Then we went into E Street Shuffle, which was really well done. I do not believe I have ever seen Johnny 99 live. So it was a great version, a really rocking version. You could see kind of like when the band does Atlantic City, the E Street Band does Atlantic City, like what Electric Nebraska would have been. But Johnny 99 was great. Um, he continued the tradition of telling the story about George Thies, talking about Last Man Standing, um, and that was a absolutely beautiful acoustic version. And shout out to, like I said, Mark mentioned he thought, and he's not original, but the tying of Last Man Standing, which is a song from an old man's perspective, to Backstreets, which is a young person's perspective, just is a perfect pairing. And it really, really sounded nice. Because the Night, She's the One, really a nice double pairing. Uh, got a lot of great guitar work. Bruce was really shredding it, showing his skills. It was just really good to see him do that. Then we got Wrecking Ball, which is one of my favorite songs. He did The Rising. I was worried he wasn't going to do The Rising without Soozie there, and I've been very clear that The Rising is the show that it's the only song on every show I've attended that I've gotten every night. So I was glad to get The Rising again. We go to Badlands. The crowd was going crazy, and then Thunder Road. And of course, Linda, when everyone sings "You Ain't a Beauty, but Hey, You're All Right," Linda's like, "He's calling her ugly. Why do you guys like this song?" Which made me laugh. They don't even pretend to do an encore. I know a lot of people have talked about that. They go the E Street Band, and then they smile and they immediately get in there. This was the surprise. He said, "This is just for you, Dallas," and they went into the Detroit medley. I've never gotten Detroit medley live, so this was a neat treat. I would have preferred Burning Train, but I can't be picky, and I don't know if they felt like they couldn't do Burning Train without Steven and Soozie and Patti, so they got us a great version of Detroit medley. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it just they did a great job going straight to Born to Run, then Rosalita, Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark, and 10th Avenue Freeze Out. Um, he announces the band before they go live. A lot of fun, a lot of great. I love that the Born to Run, Rosalita, Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark, 10th Avenue Freeze Out is just a pow, pow, pow encore of iconic songs, of getting everyone up and on their feet and dancing and having a blast. And then he closed out with "I'll see you in my dreams." I won't lie, I lost it. I've I shared on social media that I found out on Wednesday night that one of my dear friends from high school passed away. Sarah. She was my first high school crush. We never were anything but friends, but she was the newspaper editor that I worked for in high school. We were friends and we remained friends. She was on the podcast. She had been fighting cancer for a long time, and she was fighting at the same time I did. And so we were cancer buddies. And her son announced that she had lost her fight with cancer on Wednesday. And that same day, I had heard that my brother, who is fighting cancer, had coded and that he is now in the last stages of dying, just candidly. And I almost went to Houston to spend with him, and my sister said, "You know, Dean would tell you to go to the show." And so I did. But when "I'll See You in My Dreams" came on, Chris grabbed my hand and hugged me and squeezed it. And we all three shed some tears. So I actually hit record on my phone when they first walked out, and hit close. So I show 2 hours, 48 minutes, 38 seconds. It felt quick, not as in like 90 minutes. I wish they'd done. I mean, it just, as always, there is no BS between songs. Bruce is putting it on, putting it on. Um, the band sounded great. I love the background singers. I love the horns. Uh, Everyone on stage looks like they are having a blast. Everyone looks like they are enjoying the hell out of themselves. Um, I know, and this I'm talking to you, No Surrender 99. Not that you'll watch this, but there's people who are complaining about the set list, and I think they are full of shit. Um, all of us have songs we want to hear, we wish we could hear, but this frickin' set list it tells a story. He is taking us on a journey. It is a tight, it is strong, it is amazing. And my wife, who is a casual fan, said this was different than the other two shows she'd attended, and she's going with me to Houston, and she's going to go to Tulsa with me, and she says I will be thrilled if I get this exact same show the next two times. There is nothing to complain about it. She goes, a lot of the songs I didn't know, and now that I'm going to be able to hear them again, I feel the exact same way. If I get this same show for Houston, then Austin, then Tulsa, I have no complaints. Um, and and I don't think I'd complain anyway because I'm just so grateful that as people who our musical heroes pass, I'm just so grateful that we still have Bruce and the band here. But even if I was not in that type of mode, this is a damn good show. It is a solid show. It is an entertaining show, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to post this on social media. Please add your comments below. Leave me a voicemail. 469 If you call, you can leave your voice about your thoughts of any show. What I'll do is take them, convert them to an MP3, and string them together and throw them on an episode, either by itself or part of an episode. Um, I want to hear what you think. And if you disagree with me, if you tell me I'm full of shit, then fine. Tell me I'm full of shit. I just, I am so happy that I am here and that I am able to go see the band And I just, with all everything that's going on with the world today, having to get to spend 2 and 3/4 hours in this in the presence of greatness is a blessing that I'm very happy for. All right, voicemail 469-249-2442, at Jesse Jackson DFW, at setlistingbruce on Twitter, setlistingbruce at gmail.com. Email me, set me. I am starting to book episodes for March and April and May. February's booked up because I'm going to spend 2 weeks traveling, but I want to talk more to fans. I want to visit with people, love it, like it. Let's just talk. Let's visit. And the road is long and seeming without end, and I will see you in my dreams.